Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, we'll be discussing my thoughts on OVA number 1 for One Punch Man: Road to Hero. This was all kinds of badass and just hilarious. Being able to call back on the past of Saitama before he's ever the One Punch Man we know and love. I mean, he's still got a full head of hair. He's not yet attained the superhero suit that he wears. Everything. He's just sort of like, Yato Godding it around City Z in a blue tracksuit, and he's chasing down like this frog guy. His tracksuit pants get ripped. They're torn, and he goes to this tailor. This tailor being very integral to the formation of and creation of, the One Punch Man we know and love, the Saitama we know and love, that whole look, that whole visage. He's concocted this entire outfit that's very much based in sort of samurai culture and kabuki culture combined, and Saitama, it's like Saitama's worst nightmare. It's the ugliest thing he's ever seen, and he doesn't want to break this guy's heart and say like, nah, it's horrible, I can't wear this. So he kind of like, on the spur of the moment, like we've seen him do with Genos and everything, he's making stuff up off the top of his head. He sees a poster on the wall behind, I have to stay true to myself and remember where I came from and all this stuff. I have to honor my history, and so I can't really wear that, it's just absolutely hilarious. And we're finding out that it's coinciding with this group of, I guess you could say mafioso thuggies that are very much strong-arming these local businesses out of business. They come in and they're like, you pay us a fee, we'll ensure that, your place is always safe and protected from any harm. And at some point, they're overdrawn. These people come calling, they're like, pay us this much more and everything. And the people can't pay, so they have to turn over their ownership of their businesses, and a lot of these businesses are faltering as a result. And it's quite interesting how this dynamic between Saitama and this guy plays out. Saitama, he is being a hero for the fun of it. That's very much true to his character, but he feels like he owes this guy something, and he wants to do something for this guy because of all the times he's brought his tracksuit in. Apparently it's a recurring theme. He gets it torn, he brings it in, and this guy repairs and everything. He wants to do something to thank him for all the times he eschews any sort of, billing and everything. He understands that Saitama isn't making money. He can't pay his rent. He's like, 3 months past due on the rent and everything. He's getting hassled by the landlady. So he just doesn't have the funds, and this guy understands where he's coming from. He's trying to give him a helping hand. Saitama wants to return the favor, so he tracks down this, through the grapevine, this, tailor has heard where the sort of syndicate is located, and it leads Saitama right back to his own apartment building. This is the apartment building, by the way, that in one of the previous episodes we see Saitama of the main series talking about, I used to live there, I was kicked out, and it hadn't been destroyed. His favorite store was destroyed, but not this apartment building, and he apparently had lived there unawares completely, that there was like this criminal syndicate. All these different apartments are filled with these, sort of just the worst of the worst, the lowest scum of the criminal circuit. You have people money laundering and creating fake bills, all this kind of stuff. There's stuff you're not even sure what everything is going on in this place. And he walked right into like the landlady's apartment almost. He had to like jump up on the ceiling and stay out of sight so she wouldn't try to hassle him for the rent again. Finally finds this, sort of head of the syndicate, this guy who literally transforms into a monster right before his eyes. And it kind of answers where these monsters are coming from. These are actually criminals. It's kind of like the Pinocchio thing, the Disney movie, where if you're bad, you turn into a donkey, you transform into a donkey. These guys are transforming into various number of different creatures and stuff like that. In this case, this guy, and what's with the seafood? This guy turns into like the dark fish or whatever he calls himself. Fish of darkness, I think it is. But it's like, crab blanc, fish of darkness, and, deep sea king. A lot of fish food going on here as far as villains are concerned. But of course, Saitama knocks his ass for a loop. He has collected all of the baddies that are located in his particular apartment building, and for some reason he decides, instead of going and getting the rewards, because that's exactly what he's doing it for. Once he finds out every one of these criminals has rewards on their heads, if they are turned in, he'll get a reward. Rather than going straight to the police, he goes back to his landlady with all these guys tied up in a bundle, and he's like, hey, I'll tell you what, we'll split the reward and that'll pay my rent and you'll be happy and everything like that. But then this woman completely loses it because that's how she makes her money. She knew about the criminal stuff going on in her apartment building. That's how she is wealthy and all this stuff, how she survives. So she very literally makes good on her word and kicks him out, like he said was the case in the past. And he's kind of out on the streets, and I absolutely loved when he's caught up to again by this tailor who had a vision of that yellow, red, and white, white-caped suit, and created it. He was worried he might not actually see Saitama again, even knowing his prowess, even knowing his abilities, that he could probably hold his own and everything. He still was afraid for Saitama, and as just a thanks for trying to do good by him, he actually made him the suit. And when they play that music, the music ramps up. That guitar riff, I think it's something we've heard with Moomin Rider. I was getting emotional. I was actually getting misty-eyed because of just the gratefulness on this, on the part of this tailor in handing this suit over to Saitama. The look on Saitama's face, he was elated. He was smiling ear to ear, and then he puts it on and he hates it. It's like, gee, don't look a gift horse in the mouth there, Saitama. And then he goes on, we find out this is all the story he is relaying to Genos in, the modern sense in present day about his origins and everything like that. And he gets a little, spill of like sauce on it and he's wiping it off. And Genos completely misses the point because even though, the part of the story that they're at that point is Saitama's like, I was actually embarrassed to wear the suit for a while. So the first few times I went out, I had it under my tracksuit. I was still rocking the tracksuit attire, the Yato God attire and everything. And Genos is like, okay, well, maybe it's time you retire this suit. You have to have something important, but we're going to get rid of this suit and I'm going to give you something brand new. And Saitama's just like, you missed the entire point of what I was telling you. It is important to me now. It's the thing that defines me in a sense of my being a hero. It's what makes me feel like being a hero. And it's just, man, absolutely pitch perfect. Flashing back on Saitama, the comedy in this series is unparalleled. It's just constant. Every single episode has something that will get you cracking up. And I love it. It's pure entertainment. It's, action, it's adventure, but it's also got this great depth of character from the dynamic between Genos and Saitama and this tailor who was kind of forced to retire. And he takes off his hairpiece and everything like that, kind of almost symbolic to the, handing over of the suit to Saitama, who will one day be bald himself. Just absolutely awesome. The depth of character, the history of Saitama, seeing more of that fleshed out, how he came upon this particular look, this suit, and how it really matters to him and why it really matters to him amidst these just crazy cronies, once again, that he's taken down, laying the whoop ass on. And yeah, hell of an OVA. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below if you've seen it as yet. I know it hasn't been subbed everywhere. I actually found what I believe to be a fan sub of it, but it was actually well translated, and I really just thoroughly enjoyed it. Love to hear from you, whether you enjoyed it or not. I'd be surprised if you're like following One Punch Man and this doesn't hit all the right notes for you as well as it did me. I'll be shocked. Yeah, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.